Amazing. Thank you. I guess that's my cue.
Yes, please, Electra.
Yes. Well, thank you for inviting me. My name is Electra. I am the CEO and one of the co-founders of XWorks Tech. XWorks is a data integrations platform that looks to disrupt the way secondary raw commodities are traded, tracked, and then followed throughout the ecosystem so that we can really affect change with this data. And it's really important because how it used to be done is no longer possible. Especially here in Europe, we have new regulations coming in that are forcing mandatory digital tracking. So we have these restrictions coming in place, and I saw this a few years ago. I wanted to do something about it, and then right before COVID, I decided this was the right time to get involved. My background is. I started off in tech and fintech. I have a degree also in information technology. I saw the future back then, and I wanted to kind of be the bridge between information and business. But then I got involved in the waste game. I call it the waste game. There is no nicer way to say it. It is waste. It is our waste. And, people are like, oh, can't you find a better word? I'm like, no, it is what it is. You can't polish it. You can't make it something that it's not, but we have to change perspective if we're going to revolutionize the way we handle waste. And then for the last 11 years, I've been a waste consultant. I go in and consult businesses on how to better manage their waste. And I've also been a commodity trader. So I've traded thousands of tons of secondary raw commodities. And XWorks is my baby. I want to revolutionize the way waste is seen, approached, handled. And I want to use AI and data to make this change. Thank you.
So I just thought it was beautiful. I think we're all share the interest of helping people and helping our planet. I think this is a theme in this group here. I love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. Electra was saying that people ask her to use other words, apart from what it actually is. But she does not. So I must say that is something that is very close to my heart as well. Because once you go down that lane, you start. It's a slippery slope where you go where it ends with alternative facts. So no one wants to go down that route.
No, but it is what it is. It is a waste product, but waste products have value. And, they're always, make it prettier, but it's not. It's not pretty. When you go to a landfill site, it's not pretty. When you go to a waste management site, it's not pretty. It smells. When you show the pictures, you don't flower it up, because if you do, when it gets to the other end, you're going to have a whole host of other problems. And so, why call it something else? It is what it is.
Yes, Victor, I do want to add something here because, as I said, I have been working in the export industry. So basically, I was dealing with the metal scraps business. So basically, whatever you scrap your metals in USA or UK based on the electric motors or compressors or some certain things, so we import them to Asia and we recycle them. We break them down to certain pieces and we take out the silver, the gold, the iron, the aluminium, etc. So basically I can relate to that, and that is actually a waste, but you have to do something about it. And it's not like you can just keep it there and you can just throw it away or somewhere. It won't go away, it will be there. You have to do something, or you have to recycle it, or you have to do any kind of planning to make it like recyclable or reusable to some extent.
Yeah, exactly. How is this possible?
That's the interesting part. You see, the thing is that you have the guys who are actually involved in the technology part, right? These are the big companies. You have huge companies. I won't name any of them because of the legal issues that might follow me. But they're all like big old ships. And to turn around the ship, to actually get something new in, it's practically impossible. You have these guys, I mean, come on, how long have you had robotics in the manufacturing industry, right? How long has it been? It has been decades, eons, I would say. Robotics are just starting up. I mean, you have a few robots in limited surgery. There are so many areas in where you can actually simplify the whole thing, but you don't. You have a lot of places where you can actually use systems to improve how the patient journey is going on. You don't. There's a lot of resistance in the people, in the professionals using it. That's one of the problems that I see. So you have adoption issues. You have the whole thing is designed around apprenticeship. If you remember the old way of training, right? When you had a blacksmith, he had an apprentice, and the apprentice would go through the years of training before he became a blacksmith, and the cycle continued. In medicine, it's the same thing. It's an apprenticeship system. No matter how modernized you sort of think it is, it's still that archaic old system where you have these guys who have been trained through a system. They take on a couple of guys as new trainees. It's the survival of the fittest. By the time you get to the end, you're completely deluded and you're completely focused on what you need to do. Where's the innovation going to come from? Right? Innovation comes from mavericks. Innovation usually comes from guys who don't fit into the system, right? They say that, okay, fine, why should we do it this way? Why does it have to be like this?
So you have very, aptly quoted that it is not whatever is being done. It is not in the interest of the masses, and we need to utilize it everywhere in waste management and healthcare. Only then we can do it. So yes, go ahead, please, Dr. Menon.
I mean, I'll just give an example of this, right? It's not AI related, but it's technology related. Try getting a 3D printer in Pakistan. I mean, try bringing one from abroad. You have to fill out a huge form. Why do you want to bring it? What is the capability of it? And this is going to go under one of the big ministries, as it's called, securities establishment needs to know why you want a 3D printer in. There is no room to wiggle with. Like, you can't say that you want to do it for prototyping. It's the easiest way to do a prototype, right? When I was working on my product, it was the best way to do it. You had an idea, fine, you can actually render it in a 3D model. You can see it, physically handle it, and come up with a better input, get feedback from the end user that whether this would work or not. Now, imagine the difficulty that you're actually putting the innovator in, right? You can't actually have a 3D model easily. You have to find out other alternatives. So that when you regulate something to a point, when it becomes absolutely obtuse, it becomes a big barrier.
I think one of the best examples of technology renaissance is the 1970s and 1980s USA, where technology has been completely unregulated, and it grew, and we've got the platform that we've got right now with the internet, with social media. It's all thanks to that. And then they started putting barriers and starting from patents, because I think patents is one of the, especially in the information technology, is one of the greatest barriers to innovation. I've been long advocating for abolishing patents in the IT in New Zealand. We've actually had a law passed a few years ago which removed the patents from software, which I welcomed at the time. So the point I'm trying to make is that US made this huge leap in technology ahead of the world, and now they're trying to regulate it and put themselves backwards. So who is going to be next? Who is going to allow technology to develop and get ahead? So if US is taking a path of regulation and choosing to go backwards, whom are they going to cede their leadership to? That would be interesting. So what I would invite governments around the world is to look at this opportunity. Who wants to be the next US, the next superpower in technology? And it's really easy to achieve. Just remove all the regulations and let the people innovate.
JAR systems reduces wastage in fabric quality control. But I need to know, like the last discussion I had with Igor, and we discussed our point that artificial intelligence automation in the industry, especially in manufacturing industry, will actually increase jobs. As we see Amazon's growth, and there are reports from Deloitte as well. So I was talking to a couple of people. One was in Microsoft and another was in Amazon. Of course, they were not in the AI department. They were senior employees, but they were not directly involved with artificial intelligence. But they had a couple of points that I would like to ask Dr. Nimar and Electra. That in your industries, what do you see if AI would be replacing jobs or are they creating new ones? The reason being, those friends of mine, what they mentioned was they meant two things. Number one, they said that AI is really good for the big capitalists. Okay, if they are removing jobs, they are reducing the cost and increasing benefits. So yes, it is benefiting the people who are already well off. As for the people who lose jobs and they're supposed to skill up and get new jobs, who will train them? If they had the resources to train themselves, they would have done it already. Why were they doing the menial jobs? So one point is that, and the second point again comes back to the ethical considerations. That, for example, any technology that comes is supposed to be utilized in the good way. So, it's especially in health, Dr. Nimar can elaborate more on that. That there can be malpractices done, and I do not know whether they are being done or not. Utilizing AI, there are bad people out there. As Igor said, it comes down to the legal structure of it, how you actually frame the criminal justice system, that the technology should not be used in a bad way. So what do you say on that as well? Electra and Dr. Nimar, who would like to go first?
Ladies first. Yeah, my comment basically was that when you talk about the word loss of jobs, right? I would say we should be recategorizing it as loss of function because we're not talking about unemployment here. You're just saying that, okay, fine, if my job was to take this Lego brick, pick it up from this table, put it on that table, and that's a job which a robot can do, and that job is lost, come on, man. You see, it's like clickbait. Deloitte also wants clicks on its reports, right? They want to make
Yeah.
money out of it. So the fear mongering of that factor that, okay, fine, jobs will be lost. No, it's just a particular function or particular step that is going to be omitted. The same person will be doing something else, which is very practical, right? Second thing, you talked about users being resistant to change. Now, the important thing is, I believe that people are afraid of their own capability of learning at times. People are scared that whether will we be able to understand. It took us a long time to get to learn Outlook, for example, right? How to send an email. You tell somebody, oh, now you have to use the Google Suite.
Yeah.
People
Yes,
panic. People
you're right.
panic. Straightforward. I've lived in EU, and when I try to get people in Denmark to use WhatsApp, holy crap! It was like I had touched the holy grail or something. Nobody wants to use WhatsApp. They're comfortable using a
In
messenger.
China,
They
we
use
shift to
SMS.
WeChat. In China, we
China,
shift to WeChat, and that is
but there is a reason for that. That's a completely separate reason, right? You
Yeah.
know why China uses
That's
WeChat,
a
nothing
different point
else.
to discuss, actually.
That's the only platform that's allowed. Let's put it this way.
yes,
Yeah.
The
yes.
thing is, I mean, there are so many issues here that people are afraid that whether they can. I mean, in the healthcare industry, let me give you a simple example. Whenever you put in an EMR or a system that the doctor has to fill out, you should see the resistance that comes up. They never think of it as a tool to help themselves to actually maintain a record, to be accountable, to prevent issues from happening. They always look at it as an administrative hurdle that they have to pass, right? It's about changing the mindset. It's about making it user friendly. It's about the user experience. And I'm a very strong believer in the art of storytelling. And I believe it works in all segments. And that's what's missing for adoption here. You don't tell them why it's used, you just tell them you have to do it.
So a couple of things. I don't know if you guys read the book Surrounded by Idiots. It's a great book, and basically this guy, he's a psychologist, and he studied people over a period of a long time, and he basically categorized people into colors. So you have green, you've got the blues, you've got the yellows, and you've got the reds. Most of the world is most of the world are green, and greens tend to be followers. And so, coming to your point, Nimar, is that you're right. people just follow, and they get scared if something new gets interjected out of their normal routine. And there's not a lot of reds. Reds are leaders. The yellows are the actors, the